So, we're all hearing about AI constantly, right? But what is actually going on under the hood? What are the real nuts and bolts that make it all tick? Today, we are pulling back that curtain to look at the core infrastructure that really powers modern AI. Let's dive in. Okay, so this is the central question, isn't it? What does an AI really need to run? You might think it's all just some kind of magical code floating in the cloud, but the reality is it needs a super specific and really powerful physical and software setup just to get off the ground. To get our heads around all this, we're going to use a simple analogy. Just for a minute, forget about tech and picture this. We're building a brand new, state-of-the-art professional kitchen for a world-class chef. Trust me, this one idea is going to make all the complex stuff click into place. All right, first things first, every great kitchen needs its core equipment. This is the hardware engine, the heavy-duty stuff that does all the real work. For our AI kitchen, we're talking about the stove and the counter space. Now, the main event in our AI kitchen is the GPU. The best way to think of a GPU is like a massive, custom-built stove that has, hundreds of burners. Your stove at home might cook a couple of things at once, but a GPU can handle literally thousands of calculations at the same time. This parallel processing is the secret sauce. It's exactly what you need for the heavy, heavy lifting of training an AI model. But, a fancy stove isn't much good if you don't have anywhere to prep your ingredients. And that's exactly where RAM comes in. RAM is your kitchen's counter space. The more counter space you have, the more ingredients you can lay out and work with all at once, which makes the whole process way faster and a whole lot more efficient. So you can start to see how these two pieces fit together, right? It's a perfect team. The GPU is the stove. That's the raw power you need for the really complex recipes. And the RAM is the counter space, giving you instant access to all the ingredients you need right at this moment. You absolutely need both to run a kitchen at this level. Okay, so our kitchen is kitted out. We've got a killer stove and tons of counter space. We have the power. But what about the actual recipe? And how can we be sure that our amazing recipe can be cooked perfectly every single time, no matter whose kitchen it ends up in? Well, this brings us to the software. And honestly, the best way to think about this is like one of those modern meal kits. The ones I'm talking about. The boxes that show up at your door with every single ingredient perfectly measured out and ready to cook. So how does this actually work? Well, it's pretty simple, really. First, our master chef writes the recipe. That's our AI code. Then a special service comes in and packages that recipe with every single spice and ingredient it'll ever need. The final result is this perfect, self-contained meal kit, which in the tech world is called a container. And that special service, the company that packs our perfect meal kit, in the tech world, that's a tool called Docker. Its whole job is to make sure that everything, the recipe, the ingredients, the specific instructions, is all bundled up together so the final dish tastes exactly the same, whether you cook it in your kitchen or your friend's kitchen across the country. It's all about consistency. And that final meal kit, that perfectly packed box, that is the container. It's this totally portable little environment that has everything the AI application needs to run, all inside of it. You can take this container to any computer with the right setup and it'll just work flawlessly. It's like taking a meal kit to any kitchen and knowing the dish will be perfect. Okay, so we've got the gear and we've got the perfect meal kit. Now for the big question. Where are we going to set up our restaurant? Are we going to build our own exclusive place, or maybe just use a shared kitchen? Well, one way to do it is to go on-premise. And that's basically like deciding to build your very own private restaurant from the ground up. You own the building, you control who comes in and out, and you manage every single piece of equipment. It gives you the absolute maximum amount of control and privacy because everything is physically hosted inside your own business. Now, it doesn't matter if you built your own restaurant or you're renting space somewhere else, there's one thing that is absolutely non-negotiable: the speed of service. When a customer sits down and places an order, how fast does that amazing dish get to their table? In the AI world, we measure this very, very carefully. Because at the end of the day, it really boils down to this one simple truth. Fast, responsive service makes for happy customers, or in our case, happy users. That speed is what makes an AI feel smart, useful, and, well, not frustrating. So there's a technical word for this delay, for that time between ordering and eating. It's called latency. It's the time gap from the moment you ask the AI to do something to the moment it gives you a response. And just like in any good restaurant, the goal is always low latency. You want that feedback to feel almost instantaneous. All right, let's take a step back and look at the whole picture. We've just designed our entire AI kitchen, from the foundation to the front door. We've got a complete blueprint for how it all works together. So let's do a super quick rundown of our blueprint. The GPU, that's our powerful stove. The RAM, our essential counter space. The container is that perfect meal kit all packed up for us by Docker. We decided to host it on-premise, in our very own private restaurant. And how do we know if we're successful? We measure the latency, the speed of our service. So there you have it, the whole setup, from the raw power of the hardware to the perfectly packaged software and the speed of service. We know exactly how the kitchen is built. The only question left is, with AI kitchens this powerful being built all over the world, what incredible new recipes are they going to cook up for us next?